Okay, so this is Revit again, and we're trying to do the same thing we did with Rhino last lesson. So the first we have to build a simplified model of the land house. So I can use model in place, and here we don't have layers, we have different categories. So I'm going to use walls for everything that has related to, that it's related to buildings. And now if I use by extrusion, I only need to create like a 20 by 20 square. And then on the 3D view, we have to go up. So here we can type the depth. I think it was 26 feet. Okay, so this is it. And then if we want to open the openings here, we can use edit in place, select this, and we can create a void. Okay, so I'm going to create a void by extrusion. And I have to set the work plane. I have to pick this plane, and I'm going to create like a random rectangle. I don't mean to be very accurate, but if it's 26, okay, let's make it 14. Like this. And then we create the void and we click OK. And there is a void here. And now let's do it again. Select it, edit in place, select it again, create a void. And let's pick the work plane. I think we do have the same plane here. And now I'm going to create another opening here. And now we finish. There you go. So we have this. In Revit, it's annoying having all these levels by default. Okay, so let's get rid of all these levels. We will leave level 0, and then we have roof. Okay, that's fine. In this case, the roof would be level 26. And level 2 can be 10. Okay, so yes, so that means this is the simplified model of the Milan house. Then on level 1, yeah, we have to work with the elevation marks. So I am extending the elevation marks here because I want a huge area. And now with model line, I can trace, remember that it was around 400 and by 800. And there you go. Okay. So we can do the same thing. For example, you remember that we had a fillet. If we are using the architecture model line, here we have a fillet arc. Okay, so we can select this line and that line, and here we have a fillet, and we can select the radius. If the radius, if a good radius was 20, do it again. Texture, model line, well, texture, model line, fillet. So this radius is 20, but I want to type 20 here. There you go. And then we can keep doing this, and this. Click and change the size 20. There you go. Okay, for example, we have this. Then if we want to create the same road that we did before, we can do it with model line. And there's a way we can work with splines. Here we have arches, but I think we can work with spline. So with the spline, we can create like a smooth curve. Like this. Okay. And then we can use the offset. So with this option, offset, here we have this, I think, one lane. We said that it was 12 inside, 12 outside. And we can do it, we can keep modeling line, and then we can draw a circle. So the circle, remember that the diameter was 120 or 150, I don't remember. Anyway, if it's 120, this can be 60, the radius. And here we have this. And now we can select offset. And if we want 12 feet, there you go. Okay. And now we don't have this option of trim. How can we do it in REVIT? We can use this. We can split elements. So I want to split this circle here and there. And now I have two different curves, this one and that one. And I want to split these two. Split. Doesn't work. It works here. It doesn't work in this line. I want to split this because then I want to apply the fillet or the chamfer, but for some reason I'm not allowed to do it. Okay. And never mind. So I'm going to create a fillet here between that line in architecture, model line, and now we have the fillet arc. And the radius by default, I can specify the radius first, like 20. And then I'm going to do this and this, and it doesn't work. Perfect. Probably because this is a spline. But we should be able to trim. No, for some reason it doesn't work with these lines. Okay, yeah, that's why I don't like REVIT. I can create a line, and if I have a line, I can split the element, but it doesn't work with splines. It works with circle, it works with any other lines. It doesn't work with splines. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to create a spline here, and then I will create lines there. It's not the best. Okay, so I'm going to work with a spline, and now I'm going to and now I'm going to draw a model line like this. I'm going to fillet this model line, fillet. Even fillet doesn't work with splines. Anyway, at least offset, it works. So I'm going to offset 12. And this. And now I can split all these lines. And now I can apply the offset. So texture, the fillet, sorry. Fillet, radius is 20. And now this and this. 20. Okay. And now I'm going to connect this and this. And this and this. Well, this is kind of the same thing that we got with this Rhino stuff. Now, if I want the sidewalk, I can apply offset. Offset. Now, this is 6 feet. It's the size or the width of a sidewalk. And if we keep doing this, I think it works well. And here it works well. Okay. What about this? If there are lines, I can apply I can trim. Okay. Then I can offset this 6 inches. So I want to create like a sidewalk here. And now I can fillet. I can use no, it's not. Let's create fillet. I'm going to change the radius to 6. Okay, so now that works. The other radius was too big. And now this radius is 6 and this distance is 6. The following radius should be 12. There you go. And now this is parallel. Okay, so we can do this, or we can do the fillet and then the offset. Either way works. Okay, but now we have that. What about the parking places? For the parking places, we can do exactly the same thing. We have to model a line. It's 9 by 18. And here I can move it. I can select it here. I can rotate. If I want the center of rotation, I can place it here. And now I can do this. Okay. And now do the same. I extend this line. And now I can copy. And keep doing this. Okay, so that works as in Rhino. So here we have the parking places, we have the sidewalk, and yeah, we have that. What if we want to place the Milan house along this line? I'm going to offset this 6 inches again, and now I'm going to place this Milan house here. There you go. You can rotate, place the center of rotation here, and then there you go. And on the 3D view, let's look if what we're doing is good. Yes. And now we can keep copying this. In level 1, we can copy. Okay, we can copy. Or I think we can use the same thing, array. The problem with array is that I don't know if it will work the same. So I can select this. And now I have the move to, we can move it to the last. And the number can be 20. Let's see what happens. No, this is not what we want. Okay. So I better copy. Okay, we can keep copying this. If we want to change some of them, we can use the mirror too. So if you use mirror and you select the midpoint here to the midpoint there, you mirror that, and now it has a different layout. Well, I think oh, not the other one. What? See, let's mirror. There you go. If we want to move it up, it's not that easy. We have to do it in the south elevation. And from the south elevation, we have to change the level. So if we want to move it up, we can do this. If we try, it's not possible. So we have to remove constraints, and it's not possible either. So can we move it in the 3D? Let's find out. I want to select this, move, and I want to select this point. It doesn't work. Remove constraint, and it doesn't work. Okay, so it's not that easy as in Rhino. Okay, so now it works. Okay, so this is it. If we want to move some of those, we have to work from the south elevation. We have to click move, be sure that you remove constraints, click enter, and now we can move it upwards. Okay, so we have the same feeling here. To prevent this from happening, those levels, we don't want these levels here. So remember that we can work with the scope box. Okay, so if I make sure that all my drawing is within the elevation marks, then I can view scope box here and then put all the elevation marks within the scope box. Okay, and then on the 3D view, make sure that the scope box is bigger or larger than all the drawing. And now we can select the levels, and then we can select the only scope box that we have here. Okay, so now the levels are aligned with this scope box, and if I change the scope box, I change the position of the levels too. So that's useful because we don't have the levels here in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so well, basically this is the same thing we did with Rhino. Then we can keep doing this. We can keep copying things. If I select all these and I filter, I want to copy only walls because my houses belong to the walls. And then if we copy this 60 feet away, so now I have 40, the distance is 40 between two rows of houses. I can't invade the roundabout. And if we want to create a new building there, I can do it with the same architecture component model in place. I can select walls again. And I can select extrusion. And now I can keep drawing lines. And if we want this this fillet, we can do this and then write or type the right. And there in the 3D view, we can adjust the depth or the height. It's not that easy. So probably we have to use the south elevation. And then on the south elevation, we can snap to the level. And then we have the same. It's not here anyway. Yeah, probably this is easier to change the height because we only have to change the height here. But can we create a void? We can edit in place. We select this, edit extrusion. No, sorry. We have to create a void. And then on level 1, I can do this. Do this. This is not well lined up. So I'm going to use a line, this. And I think now I have that void and I can move it up to this height. this height. Okay, if it doesn't work, then I have to use cut, and then I use the first, then the second, and now I have created this opening there. Okay. So you can keep doing the same thing we did with the other. How does it work when it comes to materials? In Rhino, we have other options with hatches, and we can create layers, and we can associate materials to layers. Here in Revit, we need solid elements. Okay, so nothing can work if it's not a solid. So we have to figure out the way to create that. Okay, so let's try to do this. What about this? I can do this, but the problem is this is a spline. I don't think I can do anything with a spline. Okay, so I have created a sidewalk here. And now I want to fillet this and this, but that's spline. So I don't think I can trim. No, the splines, for some reason, nothing of this works, and I can't do this. I can move this, but as you see, we screwed up. So be careful with splines, okay? I don't know how to cut this spline. Maybe. Okay, so I don't like this option of the splines. I'm going to get rid of them. And I'm going to try other model lines. We can use this tangent and arc. Okay, let's try this. Here I create tangent arcs. Okay, and now since I have different lines, then I can fillet that one. So let's see. Okay, this one works. And does the offset work? 6 inches. Yep. Okay. I think I made a mistake. I should have filleted this one and that one. So I need a fillet. $20. And probably if I select this and this, and I type 26, it works well. Except for this. Oop. Okay, that works. So but yeah, to be careful and make sure that we have closed loops, because then we have to create solids out of this. So they have to be closed, okay? So let's offset again. That offset is 24. And now 6. And let's trim. No, trim doesn't work. So just extend this here. Doesn't work because I need, let me see if fillet works. No, doesn't. So I have to extend this here. Tangent, no, I want the point itself. But yeah, that's why I don't like Revit for doing this. It worked here, here it doesn't work. Do I have to use another tangent arc? Yes, so that works. Oof, complicated. And now I have to fillet this. Now fillet. So that's 20. And that has to be 26. There you go. And then offset. Okay, so this is the side. We can create fillets. We can create these bending roads or winding roads. We can create roundabouts, so everything works. And we can create a cell, and then we can repeat it, and we can create other buildings, just the footprint and the extrusion of those buildings. That's what we need so far. And now, if we want a material for that, there are different ways. We can create a topography, and then we can work with building paths, or we can create another extrusion, and we can extrude this shape with different heights. So let's try the extrusion. So we need a component model in place. And for component model in place, we can have a topography, for example. And then for the topography, if I use extrusion and I pick lines, we can do this. We can pick all lines, but those are highlighted. Be careful. Okay, so it's a little boring because we have to select all these lines without missing anyone, because if we don't select one of the lines, it won't be a closed loop and it will not work. Okay, so now we have done this, and we can adjust the height of this thing. I need south. Okay, for some reason it was too low. And we can do this. There you go. Okay. So now we have that. Okay. So this can be the green area. Then if we want to create a sidewalk, then I have to do the same. Model in place. Do we have a category? Topography, walls, windows, vertical circulation, stairs, roofs, not floors. And I want to create extrusion, and now I want to pick lines. So I can pick the same lines. So we're going to make 9 feet and 6 inches. And now it's slightly above. Oh, sorry. I'm going to do it slightly below. And that's it. Okay, poof, I don't know. I think Rhino, it's easier to deal with. But anyway, you can use either way. Then with this, if you're familiar with Revit, you know that here we can create or we can assign materials if we edit in place, and then we select this. You know that here we can change the material, so you can use one of the materials that you created in the other option. I recommend you for these kind of things use a material that it has a color but it doesn't have a texture. Okay, but anyway, we can use different materials, and if we use different materials here, then we can explore the other visibility graphics. So we can cast shadows. We can adjust sun settings to specific location and still day. So this is today, and the time is 2 p.m. So if we do this, we can change the shade of this, and we can actually see. That's what I was talking about yesterday. So if we have this courtyard, you have to make sure that this, at some point, it casts shadows here, but that happens on February today at 3 p.m. If it's 2 p.m. or 1 p.m., then these guys are receiving sunlight. But if these were higher than this, it wouldn't happen. Okay. So I think this is it. We can do the same. We have parking places. We can have the cell. We can have the building there. But I think working with Rhino, I find it easier. Anyway,